As Putin's war in Ukraine is intensifying, the CIA director, William Burns, says the next few months are going to be crucial for the outcome.
I think the next 6 months, it seems to me, and it's our assessment at CIA, are going to be critical. Putin, I think, is betting right now that he can make time work for him. He's betting that he can grind down Ukrainians, that political fatigue is going to set in. We do not assess that Putin is serious about negotiations. The key is going to be on the battlefield in the next 6 months, it seems to us. Puncturing Putin's hubris, making clear that he's not only not going to be able to advance further in Ukraine, but as every month goes by, he runs a greater and greater risk of losing the territory that he's illegally seized from Ukraine so far.
I want to bring in now the former European Affairs Director at the National Security Council, retired Lieutenant Colonel Alex Vindman, who is also the author of Here, Right Matters, An American Story. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Good to talk to you. I wonder, first off, what you made of the assessment from the CIA director.
I think that the ambassadors and directors' assessment is very, very good. My question is, what are we doing to make this very critical next 6 months increasingly difficult for Vladimir Putin? The fact is that this next 6 months, the Russians are going to potentially start another offensive, take more territory. The Ukrainians are going to have to blunt that attack and then move on the offensive and start to liberate territory. These kind of slow flows of tanks, the fact that we're providing our Abrams and they're not going to get there for 6 months is not sufficient. Signaling those tanks coming just to release the German Leopard tanks and allow other countries to provide tanks is not, that's exactly what happened in 2008. We signaled that we wanted Ukraine to join NATO, and all that did was precipitate Russia's increased aggression. We can't just rely on signaling. We actually have to take firm action, which is provide Ukraine the equipment it needs. That includes planes, that includes drones, that includes accelerating the pace of the delivery of these tanks, and that can be done. It's just a matter of will.
Yeah, well, and you said you believe the flow of this equipment and these weapons to Ukraine is kind of resulting in this incremental escalation. You write in Foreign Affairs that Western reluctance to fully support Ukraine and defeat Russia undercuts Ukraine's ability to conduct such an offensive and will likely cause the war to stretch on deep into 2023. Basically, it seems like you're saying that if they had provided more sooner, this could end sooner.
That's very true, but I'm also concerned about the future. It's not just the fact that we allowed this war to stretch out many, many months more than it needs to be. It's that the next 6-9 months are going to be particularly dangerous. What we're going to probably face is a increasingly erratic Vladimir Putin, where he believes that his crown jewel, the Crimean Peninsula, potentially is going to be under threat, and what actions he takes then. I feel very confident in saying that he's not going to escalate to any nuclear options, because that would be the end of his regime. But that's the point that he starts to really seriously consider that option, not just threaten it, not just to use that as a means to get the West to back down, but he starts to consider the option seriously. And if that's the biggest thing we want to avoid, this potential existential crisis, we need to make sure we don't go down this road of incremental escalation. We give the Ukrainians what they need. We give them the means to threaten the peninsula and then force Putin to negotiate in earnest. Like the Director of Central Intelligence said, he's not serious about it yet. He will get serious. He will absolutely get serious when Crimea is under threat and the Ukrainians start to liberate more territory. The sooner we get there, the less chance of incremental escalation and less risk to spill over into a confrontation with NATO.
Do you think the U.S. should send the fighter jets?
I think that we should be absolutely training the Ukrainians on fighter jets. If we keep saying that it takes months and months to prepare the Ukrainians for these advanced capabilities, which it does, then we should be training them now on the prospect that they might need them 6 months from now. We should have been doing the tank training a long time ago. What also disturbs me is that these systems come in without logistical support. All the support that the Ukrainians get, they get it outside of Poland. Everything else is done through what we call telemedicine, where you call up and show the Ukrainians what's broken on a screen, and then they have to say, okay, well, we need these parts, and it takes a long time to get systems fixed. Supporting a war from 800 kilometers away is unsustainable. We need to provide logistics. We need to make sure parts are flowing in order to keep these items in service.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Alex Finman, great perspective on this. Thank you so much.